Hey folks, welcome to a brand new episode of Extreme Reloading. Today we're changing gears just a little bit and we're going to start reloading for the 45 ACP, getting it ready to handle those 230 grain Federal Syntech bullets. Now I've just completed my initial inspection and sorting of cases. And you know, if you go out to the range, you're shooting a 45 ACP, you're shooting your 40 S&W, your 9mm Luger, whatever it happens to be, I don't really care how careful you are, unless your range is really not very busy. But on a fairly active and popular, busy range, when you go to pick up your brass, you can try your darndest to pick up only your brass, knowing it's once fired stuff, or maybe you do know the count of your reloads. But you're probably also going to pick up some generic range brass. And it's a really good idea to sort through that range brass and take a look at it really, really carefully, because I'm convinced you're probably picking up some stuff from someone else as well. And, you know, sometimes you might be out there and you see this glorious assortment of 9mm or 45 ACP brass, and you kind of can't help but pick up some of that because someone else didn't. Now, of course, some ranges don't allow that, but the range that I shoot at and the range I belong to certainly are allowed to go ahead and pick up that brass. So all the more reason to carefully sort and inspect that stuff. Well, I have 40 very nice cases that are ready to go forward with reloading, and I'm going to be using my Hornady custom grade 45 ACP reloading dies today, and obviously I have my resizing die set to go with these 40 cases. Now, there's really nothing different with 45 ACP compared to the 9mm that we did earlier this season. But one of the things I did want to spend time on is what I already alluded to, and that is sorting your cases. So I have reserved a selection of cases that just didn't make it. These are my cull cases. You know, some of you may be watching this and say, I can't believe he's throwing out that case because of this. Well, hey, this is extreme reloading, and I'm going to be really particular on the brass that I'm running through my nice 1911 pistols and other 45 ACPs. And this stuff is kind of ubiquitous. There's lots of it out there, it seems like, so you have good reason to be pretty picky. Let's take a look at what I've thrown out, what didn't make the grade, and these are my cull 45 ACP. This one right here, take a look at it. You know, a couple things I don't like about it. One thing, I don't mind, obviously, if the mouth isn't quite concentric or circular anymore. The resizing die will absolutely take care of that. But what I don't like to see is rather large dings or gouges in the body of the case. So this one didn't make it for that reason. Let's take a look at this one. You know, overall, not a bad case, but one thing that I don't like to see on 45 ACP cases, or 9mm for that matter, and that is a cantilever on the case. I know why they do it, but for reloading, I noticed that it oftentimes causes a lot of bad telegraphing of the brass once you seat the bullet. Everything else goes just fine up until that point. But I don't like to see telegraphing of the bullet through the case itself. So if I see cantilevered cases, I'm chucking them. I'm culling them. Let's take a look at this one. This one had a hard time either, and probably when it was seating in the chamber. That's a rather large gouge, maybe not such a good smooth feed ramp on this one. Plus, I got a dinged up rim, dinged up head. I don't like that. I'm just asking for trouble if I reload this one. This one may cause a jam in the future. That's a cull. And this one here, boy, I pick up these things. Federal is kind of notorious for this. I've seen some Winchesters starting to do this. CCI Blazer Brass is doing this, and that is tiny little small pistol primers. You can reload these just fine, but now you've got to sort all your 45 ACP. This is small pistol primers. These are standard or large pistol primers. You got to look for a slightly different recipe. Far too easy to mess yourself up, maybe even tread into some unsafe territory. So if I see small pistol primers on my 45 ACP, I'm culling them as well. Now we just finished loading 9mm. We're not quite done with it. We're going to have some more fun with it later. But I want to talk about a few problems or reasons I might cull some 9mm brass as well. This one's an obvious one. Not one of my cases, but one that I did accidentally pick up out at the range. And this case is absolutely split. Reloaded too many times, expanded or belled out a little bit too much, too frequently, too high a pressure, I don't know. I think it has something to do with the belling, the expanding, and being shot over and over again, probably. So this one definitely is a cull. Very unsafe if you tried to shoot that thing. This one, let's take a look at this one. This one is a great example of it doesn't say Luger. That's one of my little rules. This might actually be a 9x19 Luger. This might be a 9x18 Makarov. Normally they have a little bit different head stamp, but for my peace of mind, if it doesn't say Luger, it is a cull. And this one here looks pretty nice, but I purposely pulled this out because it's got a very bizarre primer pattern here. I think that the handgun that it was shot through, either it had a poor taper crimp on it, poor head spacing, I don't know, something like that. But there is a nice dimple on this, a cratering almost on this primer. It probably is safe to load, could also be due to high pressures, I don't know. Because of that potential, it is a cull as well. Well, there we have it. Some quick tips on culling 45 ACP or range brass that you might be picking up. Things to look for as you're inspecting those cases and getting them ready for loading. So I'm going to go ahead and get busy resizing these cases and stepping through the entire process, ending up with a nice bath for these 45 ACP cases, and then they'll be ready for primers, powder, and bullets. That is next time on Extreme Reloading. Thanks for watching.